Okay, folks, we're going to start up with our Demo Zone pitch session. These were the 3 finalists that emerged from the Demo Zone out of 15 companies earlier today, chosen by our great VC experts, many or still of whom are here that you should hit up. But before we get going, I want to invite our judging panel of VCs out. These are some of the top VCs in town. We're very excited to have them. They are going to listen to 3-minute pitches from each of the 3 finalists, and then they will confer and pick a winner today of the Demo Zone. The winner wins tickets to the Demo Pit area at the Launch Festival in San Francisco, as well as tickets to our big GeekWire Anniversary Bash and Ping Pong Tournament taking place right here at the Showbox Soto on March 26th. So make sure you come back for that. So without further ado, I want to invite our VC panelists out. They are John Connors of Ignition Partners. Come on out, John. Bill Bryant of DFJ. And Jason Stouffer of Maveron. Let's hear it for our VC panelists, also known as the Shark Tank. I think these guys are going to rip a few of these people apart, maybe. Or are you going to be nice? We'll see. We'll see if anybody emerges as the Mark Cuban of the group or the Simon Cowell. So, okay. So with that, we are ready to launch into our 3 companies. Daniel Rossi, Chief Business Officer at GeekWire, take it away.
This is going to be good. I'm really excited to welcome our first team on the stage. This is Lokesh and Manoj from Bloom.
Hi guys, my name is Manoj. I am the CEO of Bloom, and this is Lokesh, my co-founder. He's the CPO. Bloom is an active community built for pregnant women and new moms. It's a community where these women can actually connect with each other, talk to each other. They can discuss their problems, concerns, interact with each other, share ideas, help each other out. Bloom started when my wife was having her second kid, and after endless discussions of the fact that I don't understand what she's going through enough, we started thinking about, all right, there needs to be an active community here, and that's where Bloom started. We launched a little over a year ago. With about 8 months ago, when we launched initially, we launched with just a set of basic utilities like contraction counter, kick counter, and just resources for curated resources for them to look at. About 6 to 8 months ago, we launched our community within the app, and what we've seen is, in terms of traction, we've seen over 200,000 downloads. We have over 1,000 daily active sessions going on from our users. People connect with each other. We've also seen, even like right now, what we have is just pregnancy. We don't have the new mom concept covered yet. But even with that, we see a lot of the women, even after they have had their babies, they still stay connected with the community, help through what their experiences have been, help others out. Taking it further, what we want to do with Bloom is we want to build an active local marketplace, a trade network, because after having kids, we've realized that kids use a lot of toys, things like cribs and car seats and all, and these are expensive, but there's a high churn. After 6 to 8 months, you don't need those things. So having a dedicated marketplace where you can turn those things around for a quick buck, get some of your money back, I think that's a really advantageous thing. So that's one of the things we want to do in the future. The other thing we want to do, we want to use the data that we collect from advice and all to do predictive notifications, put in smarts where women, when a woman is in, like, let's say she's at 15 weeks of pregnancy, and through all the data we've collected, we know at 17 weeks, most women see these things happening. So predictively, we can notify them, well, you should be prepared for these kind of things. This is what's coming your way. These are the measures you can take to be ahead of the curve. That's another thing we want to build into Bloom. Apart from that, we want to get some affiliate networks going. We have a daily journal that these women can maintain, and we want to build in smarts for the likes of Surefield, Snapfish, and all these companies to be able to, for these women to be able to get scrapbooks built and shipped to them directly from within the app. So that's what Bloom is, and that's what we want it to be.
All right, we are done with the pitch. VCs, let's have some feedback here.
One question I would have is how much time are active users spending on the site per week? And you have 220,000 downloads. How many active weekly users do you have?
So active daily sessions, we see somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 daily active sessions. We currently don't have the metrics. We are building those as we are actually actively building that, and we don't have the metrics for what an average session size is. But we'll have all those answers within the next few weeks, because that's one of the things we've just put in, and it's waiting on the app stores to get published.
You've got built-in attrition and churn in the inherent business. Why do I stick with you for 3 to 5 years so you can effectively monetize me?
So that's a great question. Effectively, what we have seen so far as well, and both with personal life experiences as well as people who are on our app, is that the life of the app usage for them actually extends beyond them having a baby as well. Because what we are seeing is that there's an inherent emotional connection where somebody who's just been a mom loves to share their experiences, other people who are on the community. And what we are seeing is people tend to come back and share their own experiences. It's a sense of goodwill, the elder sister or the mom feeling that actually comes back, which brings a lot of people back to the app even after they've had their babies, and it keeps coming back. Now, once we go into the local community aspects, meeting, play dates, all of those avenues, it becomes even more pertinent, because it's not then just only about advice. It's about actually interacting with people around us, the people that I've built relationships over a long time through this app, and getting to know them. So that's why we think they will keep coming back.
So it's there's been dozens of apps launched in this space. At the same time, Yahoo Answers and Baby Center has an inordinate amount of traffic compared to any of the apps. So I guess the question for me is, how do you break through the noise?
So again, great question, and I think the answer lies within the question itself, because when we start thinking about Yahoo, for example, Yahoo Groups, what happens is essentially what we have seen and noticed, and this is again life experiences, everything we've seen, is that there's a lot of fragmentation in the space itself. So there is a place where people would go to get answers of a particular kind. There's another place to go look for advice, different site to do something else, another app for app counters or anything. What we're doing is we're bringing it all together in a one-stop shop. So even what we have today actually does that. It creates that community feeling, and it also gives you access to articles from a variety of sources which are very pertinent to your life stage. So for example, let's say you're 11 weeks pregnant, and at that point of time the articles that you're seeing is what should you expect in your 12th week, what should you expect in the next month, when should you be, so articles that are very pertinent to your current stage, which is again something that is technically available on the internet, except it's really hard to find and assimilate, right? So what we've seen is a lot of our customers actually come back for these features, is where they're like, I don't have to go anywhere else, I can just go on one spot and find all this information, which is really valuable to them.
So for what it's worth, I would focus on creating a great experience for those women and creating a great content and community they can come back to. It's been largely a fail to try to transition from content to commerce. If you're able to create a ubiquitous media site, it's a much more likely path than trying to transition early to commerce.
No, I complete agreement, and that's one of the questions that we faced early on is, do we have ads in the app, for example? Like, are we already in the e-commerce space, or are we already in the revenue generation stage yet or not? And in all honesty, right now our focus is not that. Our focus right now for an extended period of time is going to be make this app something that people want to use every day and come back to every day, right? And once we get that level of traction, once we get beyond that curve, is where we will see that there's a variety of ways in which it can be monetized. I don't think we need to, I don't think either one of us is super worried about that right now.
We have time for one more question, if you have one more.
Yeah, and do you use experts so that it's valuable content, that it's advice I get, and how are you choosing experts, and how are they drawing audience?
So we're not at the stage where we're using experts. It's mostly peer-to-peer advice right now. But we definitely we definitely wish to make it into an Uber for advice for pregnant women and new moms in some ways. We haven't gotten too far into that, but that is something we definitely want to do.
Round of applause for Bloom, everybody. Round of applause for Bloom.
Thanks, guys. Go Hawks!
And I'd like to welcome next to the stage Sahid and Sharad from EdRepublic. Gents?
Thank you. Hello, Seattle, and hello, GeekWire community. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for giving us the opportunity to be here. All right, is it better? All right, cool. So what is EdRepublic? So EdRepublic is a platform that analyzes software development skills to help tech companies hire efficiently. Our platform matches engineers or software developers with tech companies based on data-driven metrics. So let's take a step back and see what's the normal hiring process. So as a recruiter or a hiring manager, what you do is you skim through a lot of resumes on a weekly basis, you phone screen a lot of candidates, and it depends on your mood, your energy, how you rate your resumes, and how many candidates you involve. There are two very big problems to that. First, it's not scalable. You cannot scale to going beyond 20 or 30 resumes a week. It makes you tired. Second, it's very biased, it's emotion-based, and it's not based on facts. Sometimes you just reject a resume because it's not formatted well, whereas the developer might be very, very good. So what we do, we give you data. We give you metrics that we gather based on very diverse sources. The sources include such GitHub, your LinkedIn profile, your resume, and the coding you have done in the past or on our platform. So what we do while you code or give us this data, we analyze you on so many diverse metrics, such as how long did you take to solve this problem? How many attempts did you make? Was your code clean? How many test cases did the code pass? And we gather all these metrics, all this data from all different resource streams, and we funnel it through our algorithms and machine learning systems and present the recruiters all these facts. So not only they can hire efficiently, but they can save the time and money they spend on useless flop-flop resumes. Our first milestone is to help the companies skip the phone screen, entirely skip the phone screen. So if a candidate is good on EdRepublic and has a score of maybe 70 to 80, let's bring him on. We can cut the interview short, we can optimize for time, we can save a lot of money. The second big advantage that we are providing is the scalable, because once you submit the data, once you upload a resume, machines kick in. There's no more emotions or bias involved. Our algorithms are trying to evolve so that we can vouch for our score. We can tell, okay, if a person is
10 seconds.
10 seconds, fair enough. So if a person is good, he's coming from EdRepublic, he has a high score, bring him on, cut the phone screen, and hire him with saving time and money. And that's it. Thank you.
Good. VCs, questions?
So I get the machine learning part about identifying better candidates. Why doesn't this extend beyond development?
Extended beyond?
Why wouldn't you do this for sales and marketing, for finance, for other categories?
Currently, there are a couple of reasons. Mostly it's constraint based, since we are self-funded and we just barely started like 2 months ago. We're trying to first niche, gather this conquer this niche market of computer science. Because we all come from the computer science market, we know this industry in and out. We've been doing a lot of recruiting, myself and Saeed as well. So this is our first step. Next, we are opening it to product management and project management. Our third milestone is business and finance. So we will eventually get there, but we're trying to restrict ourselves so that we keep the quality in check and nail our algorithms.
And then how much will it cost you to build a robust test suite such that it's broad enough to test across a variety of platforms, languages, skills, and levels?
So currently we are supporting about 11 different languages, and we're gathering resources from LinkedIn, GitHub, your self-completed profile, and we're currently testing at about 500 developers. That's pretty much it. But we only have been there for 2 months. It has costed at about a little north of 20,000 based on our engineering cost, our part-time salaries, some legals, startup setup, nothing much. However, we are keeping an offshore team to write content, some test cases. We're keeping the cost a little low since we are still in a prototype base. So it's bearable at this point. However, if you want to grow, go beyond to offshore companies, other agencies, big enterprises, we are actively seeking the seed money.
And who are the first lighthouse accounts you're targeting?
So we're targeting college candidates because the reason being they need self-awareness. They need to know, where do I stand? So we're going to the colleges, we're giving seminars, telling, okay, this platform will make an ideal match for you. Not only that, but also will help you match to the right companies. For example, if you're an iOS developer, there's no need for a recruiter from VMware to call you. It's a hardware company. So for the college candidate, it's especially useful since they don't know what's happening. Where do they stand?
How about on the corporate side? Do you have any beta customers?
We do. It's a little confidential. We were talking to 3 big companies in Seattle and Bellevue region. We contacted the recruiters directly. We gave them the prototype. They have shown the intent. They're asking for 30 to 60-day trial period, but they are very, very interested.
And then how will you work with HR departments that don't have much skill in assessing technical talent? Will you skip right through HR and sell to hiring managers inside the department that's looking to hire the people?
Very good question. So our platform is flexible enough. We give both perspectives. For example, if you're a hiring manager, we allow you to dig deeper, see the code, see the metrics, how long it takes. If you're a recruiter, we just allow you to submit your requirements, and then we start sending you notification. Okay, this is a good match based on suitability index. And after that, recruiter can either see if she or he is talented or can read the code, or she can pass along the links to hiring manager.
Do you start by analyzing the current workforce to assess their skill sets to better match?
It's certainly possible, but we let the companies do it. Either they want to send the questions to us to get analyzed, either they want to send the requirements, or we start sending them the candidates based on suitability. So it's totally up to you. It's very flexible. As an example, I was talking to a person who wanted Ruby on Rails, and he said, okay, I want Ruby on Rails with 4 years experience, and I'm not willing to give him 80K. So I said, okay, you can set all these variables, send us the requirements, and we'll start sending you the notifications. It's very flexible.
Great questions, great answers. Round of applause for EdRepublic, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to welcome Scott from SERPs to the stage. Scott?
Hello. My name is Scott Krager. I'm the founder of SERPs.com. We're an enterprise SaaS company. We sell primarily to large SEO teams, big e-commerce companies, or large digital agencies. I started the company in 2012. It was originally software I built to manage my own portfolio of sites. When I originally started the company, we kind of wanted to compete with Moz. People are probably familiar with them, kind of the $99 a month price point. And so we built all these things that Moz hadn't built, like multiple users and daily updates and all this stuff. And what we found was that the only customers who actually cared about that were like these bigger, enterprisey, longer sales process customers. So we just figured that out in the last 6 months or so. There's 2 of us, now 3. We just hired our first salesperson about 3 weeks ago. We're at a $500,000 run rate. Our biggest customer pays us $10,000 a month, and they just emailed me this morning and they want to go to a $30,000 a month contract. So we're pretty small, but we seem to be competing well with some of the more enterprisey companies that have raised $40, $60 million. So I'm kind of a product engineer person first, so figuring out the enterprise stuff has been a challenge, but I feel like we're kind of working through that challenge, and we're finding that we're winning deals against some of these, our two main competitors, and so that's why we're hiring salespeople and trying to grow the business. You may ask, why do you need large-scale data if you're an in-house SEO team? And the most important part is kind of a feedback loop. If I change something on my site, how does that change in Google? If I get a great link for CNN, what's the effect? So our customers use our software to basically prove their results to their boss, to say, hey, look, the work that we're doing is actually working at a large scale. So give me more budget or give me a raise. Don't fire me. I think that's about it.
All right, that's good. Questions, judges?
And we love Moz, by the way. They're awesome. So we really do. They're great. I want to build the Moz for the enterprise. Like Rand has built this amazing company, and right now I feel like we've built this good product, and I want to learn how to build a great company. So that's kind of my next goal. So.
I wasn't really sure what you do. Is it sort of website optimization, kind of A/B testing, like a Monetate, Optimizely, Qubit?
Similar space, but we don't do any services. We do provide like kind of a visual dashboard. So customers that pay for Optimizely would be very likely maybe to pay for our service too. It overlaps, but a little different.
And the sales and marketing optimization space is very crowded.
Yes.
How do you break through?
That is a very good question. I don't know. To this point, it's just been, let's build a really great product and keep focusing on that, and that seems to be working for us so far. And I figure we have a great VP of sales now that I'm pretty confident it's going to be able to help us get a lot of these bigger customers onboarded.
If you were to talk to your best customer, your biggest advocate, what are the 3 things you do that other people can't?
So first would be scale. So we can just do a much larger scale. We kind of built our whole technology stack in the last couple of years versus some of the competitors that have done it back in 2007, 2008. So we can just do a much larger scale without having to sell your firstborn child to get that done. Second would be visualization of that data. So once you have the data, you have to correlate, compile it into a way that is insightful, because when you're talking about potentially hundreds of thousands of points, you need to be able to distill those down into something that's actually interesting. So I would say those 2, and you asked 3, and I think I just stepped in it because I can't think of a third one. So.
Any other questions? All right, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for
Thank you.
And a great surprise, we have one more team, Surefield, and I'd like to welcome
David Araker. David Araker of Surefield. You are up.
Come on up.
Come on, David.
Here you go. Whoa, okay. Okay. Hello. Hi, my name is David. John told me to hold this like a rapper, so I'm just gonna try it like this. Just kidding. All right. My name's Dave Uracher. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Surefield, and we are a residential real estate broker here in Seattle. Seattle has been a real estate town for a long time. There's a lot of innovations that come out of this town in residential real estate and real estate in general, and we are trying to continue that tradition. Seattle likes to buy houses, likes to sell houses, likes to remodel houses, and we love the technology that makes all that possible. Now, today, Surefield is trying to further that tradition, and the way that we're trying to further that is with 3D models and lower commissions than you've ever seen before. Now, Surefield is a sell-side only real estate broker. We can help you sell a house if you own it, and we can do that more efficiently than anywhere else. The way that we sell your house is we come in, we take around 25,000 photographs inside, outside, and even above the house. We process all that image data through our computer vision pipeline, and out the other end comes a home tour, an online home tour that buyers can use to tour your house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from anywhere in the world. Now, the cost to sell a home in the US is far higher than it is anywhere else in the rest of the world. If you want to sell a house in the UK, it costs 1.5%. If you want to sell a house in Hong Kong, it's 1%. If you want to sell a house in Japan, it's 2.5%. 2.5% in Norway, 1.75% in Denmark.
In fact, it's basically cheaper to sell a house everywhere in the world except for the United States. And we don't really have enough time to talk about why that's the case today. The important thing is, the key takeaway is that you have a new option if you are in Seattle and you're looking at selling your house. So Surefield will list and sell your house for 1.5% total commission, which compares favorably to the prevailing norm of 6%. You might ask, well, how is this possible? And why today? Well, before the last couple years, if you wanted to get a 3D model, it was a really expensive and time-consuming thing to have produced. But now computer vision research has matured. These models can be made automatically. And
you're almost out of time.
And I'm almost out of time. So if you're thinking about selling your house, definitely give us a call. You can come and check us out up in the demo booth. And if you want to get one of these free t-shirts, we're happy to give them out. We got Big Bertha on the front. And don't get stuck with low commissions on the back.
All right, let's hear from our VC panel. What questions do you have for David at Surefield?
So David, a question. The for sale by owner market has never really taken off in the U.S. To get to any significant volume, and from my understanding, a big part of it is people always think their house is worth more than it's worth. How do you handle that upfront problem of me mispricing my asset because I have an inflated sense of what it's worth?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. Great comment and question. So. When you're selling your house by yourself, you'll pay $500 plus 3% for that buyer's agent commission in the MLS. Surefield is half the cost of a for sale by owner. We're only 1.5% total commission inclusive of that, and we're also full service. So you get a dedicated agent going through the whole process, and we're going to work with you to try and accurately price that house. If you want to sell your house at a price that is not reasonable, then it's possible we may not take the listing, or we may recommend that you do it with higher commissions.
So, David, you got a lot of insight into the real estate market, having been the founder of Redfin. You're taking out a lot of the costs, but for the participants in the transaction. But what about your costs? How do they fundamentally differ, or are you just willing to accept less than what the going rate is?
Yeah, great question. So the reason why we're able to operate an efficient business at 1.5% total commission is because we automate most of the home tours by leveraging our 3D models. Now, these models aren't good enough for somebody to buy the house remotely, although that's almost happened a couple times. What they're really used for is your average buyer that doesn't understand the spatial layout of the house. They can use one of our 3D models and determine, great, I don't actually need to physically go to the house by having the online tour. So that's really where the automation comes in. It's better for buyers, it's better for owners, and it's way more efficient for Surefield.
So, David, real estate's a funny industry because everyone says real estate brokers rip people off, but mine's so good they're going to help me out. How do you get past that mindset?
Yeah, that's great. I guess that's survivor bias, right? Everybody's made the right choice. There's a lot of great agents out there. Some of them do stuff that we don't do. Most people have known those guys for a long time. I guess fortunately it's just a really big market, and we just hope to try and do what we're doing with a small number of people. So, I don't know, did that answer your question, or did I just kind of weasel around it?
Somewhere in between.
Okay, one more brief question, or are we all set?
Yep, great.
Anybody? Bill?
Well, so are you really implicitly saying that the buyer agent just puts up some pretty pictures and really has no other value?
Well, our approach is somewhat deflationary, right? So I won't say that selling a house is a commodity job, but I will say that if you have an accurately priced house and you photograph it and you put it in the MLS, it's a very efficient system for marketing that house to buyers. So we're not saying people don't do anything. We're just saying that there's a way to be very efficient about how you kind of manage your own assets and try and liquidate them.
Super.
All right, that's David Rocker of Surefield. David, great pitch. Thank you. Now we are going to let our VC VC panelists, huddle up. You can get into a Seahawks-style huddle up here, whoever wants to take the Russell Wilson role or the Bobby Wagner role in the case of John Connors. You guys huddle up. Yeah, keep the mics away from you, and maybe go back into the corner here while you guys confer on the 4 pitches. We added a bonus company in there. We gave a break to SERPs, which showed up a little bit late. So maybe that will be held against them here in the voting. We shall see. But thanks again, everybody, for being a part of Startup Day. I also want to take this moment to thank some of our great sponsors who are here today. Graythorn, our great partners at Graythorn, thank you so much. Kojak, the law firm which is helping out many of the entrepreneurs up in the Startup Resource Room later today. If you have legal questions, make sure you go talk to our partners at Kojak and get any of your legal questions answered. Also, Williams Kastner also will be up in the resource room providing advice and legal advice to you today. So make sure to check out with them. And Lighter Capital, which is also in the resource room, and they are providing advice around financing, mergers and acquisitions, and partnerships. So those are some of our great partners. Make sure you visit all of our sponsors around the booths today and check out what they're doing. So, who had a favorite out there? We'll let the judges keep going. Who liked Bloom? Just scream out, Bloom. Bloom? Bloom, all right. How about, who was next there? That was EdRepublic. EdRepublic. Yell out if you liked EdRepublic. All right. How about SERPs? SERPs. Okay. And how about Surefield? Let's hear about Surefield. Gosh, John, I don't know. That was pretty equal. I think the judges have a difficult decision here. I don't think there was a resounding winner there from what I could tell. So we shall see. They are still conferring. This is a tough decision. At stake, I should say what's at stake. Tickets to the upcoming GeekWire Anniversary Bash Ping Pong Tournament, Foosball Tournament right here March 26th. So hopefully these startups will get to have a little bit of fun and get a little break from their action and come out and party with us on our Anniversary Bash. Also, they get tickets to the Launch Festival in the Demo Pit Zone. So we're going to send the best of Seattle down to San Francisco to participate in the Demo Pit Zone at the Launch Festival in the first week of March. So we're super excited to partner with Launch on this event today. Great to have them on board as a partner. So, how are we doing over there, guys?
And did you want to just pick one?
Pick one. Pick one. You got your winner?
We got it.
Got your winner, all right. And I will let one of you take the lead in announcing who the winner is. And if our winner's backstage, if you hear your name, come on out and get your photo taken with this group. All right. Who's taking the lead over there? Who's the Russell Wilson of our VC panel? All right, John Connors of Ignition. John, take it away.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say thanks very much to John and Todd for inviting us. And secondly, just to everybody here should give those two guys and the entire GeekWire staff a big round of applause. It's absolutely fantastic to see what's happening in the early stage community in Seattle, and these guys have been a big catalyst. So congratulations for all you've done and the fact you guys have built your business. So the panelists had a unanimous decision. We thought EdRepublic was the number one.
EdRepublic, come on out. Come on out, guys.
Thank you. Absolutely, absolutely. We'd love to meet you guys. Thank you. And a couple of comments on why. First of all, I think Mark Andreessen from Andreessen and Horowitz wrote a great article for, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, and if I remember the title right, it was "Software is Eating the World." And nearly every industry, every company is becoming a software company. It really doesn't matter what your industry is. I'm on the board of Nike, for example, and in the last 3 years, they've probably hired 400 software engineers. Nordstrom, you can see how many they've hired. You could go across all the industries in Seattle, and we're really blessed to have such a diverse economy here. But every company is becoming a software company, and every company is really struggling with finding, securing, and assessing the talent for technical hires. So we thought there could potentially be a real opportunity here, and it's something that's extensible to other technically oriented jobs that are hard to assess just in minute interviews. So EdRepublic was our choice for the GeekWire Startup Day winner. Congratulations,
All right,
guys.
congrats, EdRepublic. Any quick comments on your big win here, guys?
All right, so first of all, again, thanks for the opportunity. I love to be the part of Seattle community. John Cook has been a great friend. We've been doing a lot of articles before. Today is our moment. It's a lot of hard work. I congratulate my team. They've been working hand in hand. This is Saeed, my co-founder and chief product officer, and there are the two other engineers who you should look at over there. They've been the silent partners staying down the stage, Michael and Han. And once again, thanks for the opportunity. We look forward to work with the entrepreneurship and the community that we're building here. We love Seattle. We love the energy over here, and we just gonna rock the world here. Thank you so much.
Go Hawks. All right. Thank you, EdRepublic. Congrats on our second annual Startup Demo Zone finalist and winner. Thank you, guys. Congrats.